Hey everybody. So I just got off work. I just got home. And I've decided it would be fun to make a video to just share some general. There's a lot of coronavirus shit going around. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of stuff that is called news by some people, but is wishy washy. But I drive around for a living. I'm a delivery driver. And I have a lot of thoughts that don't involve the coronavirus at all because I drive a lot. And so I thought I would share a few with you now. One thing that I've noticed as I get older, I just turned 30 2 months ago. So I'm entering my fourth decade of life, which is terrifying. I honestly did not think I would make it this long. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I am your average millennial 30-year-old. Anyway, as I get older, I start to notice the different things bug and annoy me than when I was younger. In a lot of ways, I'm a much more patient, compassionate, caring, understanding individual than I was when I was a younger man. But as I get older, I find that the things that cause me to have little freakouts are much, much more minor and just banal than I thought they would be as I got older. For instance, as I mentioned, I'm a delivery driver. I use Google Maps to navigate around Jonesboro. Every day I use Google Maps. Google Maps, for some reason, it did not used to do this, but it started recently. It started calling Caraway Road in Jonesboro Carryway. Now, Hattie Caraway did not become the first woman elected to a full term in the Senate and the first woman to preside over the Senate for fucking Google to come in and call her Carryway. Her name wasn't Carryway, her name was Hattie Caraway. I don't understand why Google pronounces it Carryway. It's spelled Caraway. Caraway. It's not hard. No one calls it Carryway except Google Maps. I don't understand it, but it annoys me. Maybe because I don't understand it. So that's just one example. I'm 3 minutes in. I thought I'd been talking longer than this for some reason, but that's just one example of something that would never have pissed me off when I was 20, and now every time that Google tells me to go down Carryway, I have a minor just burst. It's like just a brief flash of anger. I mean, look, it's justifiable too. It was, again, real person, important historical figure, important not only in the history of Arkansas, but in the history of the United States of America. This is a woman who broke barriers that had not been broken before. And, like with several other barriers in history that Arkansans have crossed, we're just not getting credit for it, apparently, because Google's pronouncing it Carryway. Fuck. It's just, I don't even know. Another thing that mildly annoys, well, it mildly annoys me, and I can't comprehend being annoyed by this when I was young. I can't remember being annoyed by this when I was younger, but things were different when I was younger. Today, there is no such thing as a unified culture anymore. The internet has diversified and made such niches, so many niches for our every entertainment need and purpose, that every fucking day that I watch news that even remotely relates to YouTube. I hear about some YouTube celebrity who has, fucking 5 million subscribers, usually more than that, and I've never heard of them. There are people out there who watch things that I have never heard of, and vice versa. And it happens all the time. But this lack of a unified culture, while it's really cool, I like that I get to enjoy things that I like, that are weirder, that are not so mainstream. Things that if everything had to go through the mainstream would not get made, would not get distributed to me, would never find their way to me. I love that I have the ability to find these things now. And I would not trade the media setup that I have now for any previous media setup. Future media setups, of course, I will trade this current media setup for. But I don't want to go back to the days of the VCR. I don't want a cable subscription. I'm not going to do that. Who needs cable? You have all these services that you now have to bundle together. It's the same thing. It's basically just cable, except you can watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. So it's infinitely better than cable. But the social result is really interesting to me, because when I was younger, there were always touchstones between generations. There were certain things that were multi-generational because at the time you didn't have all of the diversity of programming. You didn't have all the diversity of artistic voices out there. But you had really good ones going around. That's not to say there was a lack of good media. But everybody generally kind of knew what was going on. There was always some kind of zeitgeist. And there are still zeitgeists in the current age, but I feel like we lose out on a lot of them. And the thing that really makes me think about this is that I work with teenagers a lot. And these teenage kids, and not even teenagers, some of them are in their early 20s. Some of them are, a little bit older than that. But the references that they do and don't get always amaze me. Because I'm a really referential person. I refer to things constantly. And some of the things that I refer to are pretty obscure, especially when I'm in history or English major modes, and I'm pulling out some, little known fact, some little known story, some thought related to those fields. But it's amazing to me the pop culture stuff that people who are even 5 years younger than me don't have the connection to that I do. And a great example, a fantastic example. The other day, I was talking to an 18-year-old server, and I mentioned the Chappelle Show. And she did not know what the Chappelle Show was or who Dave Chappelle was. And to me, that's mind-boggling, because when I was her age, the Chappelle Show had already gone off the air. Dave had already run off to Africa to get his head right. But everybody knew who Dave Chappelle was. And this is a guy who's... There's an ice cream truck passing behind me. What the fuck? I've never seen an ice cream truck in this neighborhood before. That might be the feds. Anyway, everybody knew who Dave Chappelle was, and he recently became relevant again because of his stellar Netflix specials. It blew my mind. It blew my mind, and it's crazy to think about the overlaps and how much smaller they're getting. History happens in overlaps because we often are looking at one specific field of history at a time, and we don't think about what's necessarily going on outside of what is contextually important for the historical thing that we're talking about. But there are some really interesting overlapping histories. And it's very strange to me that we've entered this time when the overlap window is becoming so... It's becoming smaller, and it's getting reduced every day. And to me, that's fascinating. But it really... it makes me sad for future historians, because they're going to have so much shit to study. Well, I'm already a big fan of like several YouTube channels that do internet history, and there's so much shit to study. Memes themselves, just the history of the internet, is such a fantastic subject. I would love to teach it one day. Be like, and then in 2016 they shot a gorilla. Well, why is that important, sir? Dicks out. Dicks out for Harambe. Never forget. Okay. Oh, I'm at 11 minutes. Yes, I just kind of wanted to... I don't know. I've been thinking about doing a podcast or some sort of like video series like this for a while, where it's just me talking to you. And I thought maybe you'd like to hear a human voice that doesn't come from a media outlet for a little bit. Especially if you're a friend of mine and I haven't seen you in a while, because I've been working and trying not to get people sick. So if you're watching this, I hope you have a great day. God bless. If I don't make another video like this, thanks for watching this weird experiment. If I do, I guess I'll see you next time. As I'm recording this, it's Holy Week. So, if you don't see another video like this before then, Happy Easter. Yeah, we did it. Lent is almost over. I can eat meat again soon. Oh, man. I'm really looking forward to eating meat again soon. Okay, well, have a good one.